welcome. It is I, Victoria, and I am the community manager here at Renegade Game Studios. And we are here with Just Wait. And I am here with some very special guests and coworkers of mine. Why don't you all introduce yourselves? Why don't we start with you, Scott?
All right. Hi, I'm Scott Gaeta, president and publisher at Renegade Game Studios. And if this panel is called Just Wait, does that mean that we just sit here and wait and then in an hour we just turn off the stream?
We could call it performance art.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know
Scott's
if that's what people want.
Well, Scott's just worried because I got my eyes on you on this one.
Whatever, man.
Dan, why don't you tell us what you do here at Renegade?
Yeah, hi, Dan Bojanowski, senior producer at Renegade. And what that means is that I kind of work at the front end of projects to kind of define what they are, do some documentation, all that fun stuff. But I also get to work with the game designers to make sure everything's working properly, shepherding the project from kind of inception all the way through till we hand off files to the printer, reviewing things, making sure everything is up to speed and no typos slip through or anything like that. But yeah, just kind of shepherding projects from inception all the way till the files are handed off.
That seems like that's a lot of work. There's a lot of games that come out.
That's true. And there's no small shortage of Power Rangers games either. So
no.
Yeah, we got our hands full. But we enjoy it.
Sarah.
I am Sara Erickson. I'm the director of sales and marketing here at Renegade Game Studios. And if this were a relay race, I would be on the last leg of it. So Scott is the one who gets to decide all sorts of crazy, wonderful things that we do and brings these neat projects to us. Dan then makes sure that those projects actually happen and gets the files to the printer. And then I sort of pick it up once it's here. And we're ready to actually make a product and there's a real thing that I can sell and tell people about and let everybody know what fun stuff is coming your way. So that's kind of what I get to do. I also manage all of the Kickstarter projects and pre-order campaigns, which we have a couple of those going on and coming up. So it's an exciting time here at Renegade Land. All sorts of fun stuff.
It is exciting. There is a ton of stuff coming up, and we have a ton of fantastic content coming up for you this weekend. But first, just wait. If you are new to the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid community, you might think, well, why are we called Just Wait? What is this panel? Well, Scott has a bit of a catchphrase, don't you, Scott?
Well, it's not my catchphrase. It actually was stolen from a Tom Hanks meme. So, and it just kind of started, in our community, in our Facebook group and stuff. And everybody was always asking, well, what about this? What about that? We would give them information. And then they'd go, well, that's great. Now tell me about this and tell me about that. So I just started posting the Just Wait meme. And it's kind of become a thing now. And I often go into that group and have entire conversations where I never type anything, but I answer all the questions in just memes. And it's fun for me, at least. I don't know if it's fun for the community, but I have a blast doing it, and it's a lot of fun. And so there you go. So thank you, everybody, for my fun. Hopefully it's sometimes fun for you too.
Well, hopefully you're going to be answering some questions here. I know Sarah's keeping her eye on you, making sure you don't say too much. But first, let's open with Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Did you ever think the game was going to be the hit that it is? What were your expectations going into making the game originally?
Well, I mean, from my point of view, I wanted to do it when we were originally contacted about doing it. We did a little bit of research and really explored the Power Rangers community. And first and foremost, we saw that the community really shared our values. So we wanted to do it. Like that was the first reason why. And then, you know, as we got into the game design and Jonathan came on board, and all of that, like we really did kind of fall in love with it. Like not just the community, but the IP is so fun. And I think we hoped that it would do well. We really thought that the audience was very underserved. And I mean, that was part of the reason why we were contacted by Saban originally, was that Power Rangers was coming up at the time on its 25th anniversary. And there had always been lots of stuff for kids, right? Because that's who it's targeted at. But they correctly realized that there was now 25 years worth of people that had watched it. And now those people were adults and they needed something for them, and there really hadn't been a game that was aimed towards, you know, an older, like, you know, adult player base. I think we realized that it had the potential to be bigger than we thought it would be when we were at Power Morphicon that September before the game even came out, and we saw how well the fan base reacted to the game and how much they really enjoyed it and how it really did hit the themes on the head and all that. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. And it's, you know, it's just kept doing well from there. So, you know,
Yeah,
I could say that we just, yeah, do it.
I would add that, you know, I said that part of my job is the documentation behind all this stuff, you know, creating documents that outline what cards are in there, what size everything is, what special things we add to it. And part of that is keeping track of all these SKUs that we're doing. And for Power Rangers, I can tell you that we are up to SKU 29 for Power Rangers that I have documented as 29 SKUs. That includes some Kickstarter SKUs and some other little tiny things that aren't retail SKUs that, you know, whatever. And it includes some unreleased SKUs. But that's an amazing number. I can't imagine that there are too many games in our tabletop industry that have 29 SKUs to their name that are part of one line. So I think that's a credit to the community that's here, and I think that's really exciting for the future of Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it goes to show what more we can do too, because there's so much more to Power Rangers that we can bring, and we already have 29. That's pretty epic, I think, because I was joking about it in the panel just before this one, but look at this. That is a huge assortment of Power Rangers behind me. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I've got them all there. And yeah, no, that's just a small selection. So Dan, I do have a question for you. We currently have a pre-order campaign going on, and we teased a bit of the cards of Alpha 5, Villains Pack number 3, Legacy of Evil, and Legendary Forever Rangers. So why these packs in particular? Why were they the ones chosen as the next expansions?
Well, that's a good question. When we set out to, you know, create these SKUs, in particular, we relied pretty heavily on Jonathan Ying, superfan, game designer. He's obviously been a huge influence on the direction that we go. I mean, we're fans as well, but he takes it to another level, and I think that shows through the gameplay. So when we set out to kind of lay out the year's worth of content, myself and Scott and Jonathan would sit down and kind of talk through, you know, what has not been done, what needs to be redone, what areas we think can be refeatured or featured again, or what the best things that are going to resonate with fans the most are. So these are the ones that we kind of came to. And it's definitely an evolution. You know, we start off and we say, this is what we want to do. We lay it out. We send it to Hasbro for approval. But throughout the course of the development of the products, they do change. For instance, the fan appreciation kit. That's one that we talked about on a previous panel, but that one just started out as the scenario book. We said we've got all these great scenarios. We would love to make them physically available to our fans in a nice format. And then from there, we kept seeing little bits and pieces that we wanted to add to it, from the tokens to the more dividers to promo cards to extra tokens for it. And I think what we created is a really cool SKU. but it didn't start off that way by any means. So there is some evolution that happens there. I would also say that another evolution in these particular SKUs was the promo cards that are in the Villain Pack 3. This is something that we talked about for quite a while. These are cards that are kind of new versions on some cards from the core set for Pudgy Pig and Rita. And we talked about, do we want to just errata these cards, the original cards, or do we want to go some other way? And we wanted to give players as much flexibility as we could. And we thought this was the best possible option for that by giving them some new options for it. So that if they want the challenge of the older ones in the core set, that's great. Keep using them. We're not going to devalue those or take those away. Or if you want to try these new ones, that's great too. There's just different options, and that was an evolution that we kind of struggled with as we went through, but I think we made the right call, and we're happy with how that turned out.
I see you egging everyone on, Scott. Don't think I don't notice that.
What? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Sarah can't see chat, can she?
Oh, you just wait. I've got my eyes on you still. I'm watching that chat. You do anything wrong? Hey.
I'm not doing anything. I was listening to Dan very intently. Shh.
I'm sure that was it. Oh no.
So, Dan, we had a bit of a designer diary with Jonathan today that was released. If you haven't read it yet, never fear. You can find it at PowerRangersGaming.com in the updates section. It's right there. So we heard Jonathan's point of view of why you decided to do Alpha 5 again. What is it from your point of view? Working with
for Alpha 5 specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I honestly, I haven't read Jonathan's article yet, but I remember the discussion that went into that. And yeah, I would echo just what he said. I don't have any more specifics than that, but I know that he wanted to give a different take on that very important character. And it was, he's definitely very different, functioning than a standard ranger. And he wanted to, not necessarily try it again, but he wanted to add to that experience, and he's had a lot of learnings throughout the course of these, and I think he wanted to apply that and give fans a new chance to play Alpha in a slightly different way.
Mm-hmm. So what can we expect from these expansions? What kind of gameplay can we expect?
Well, I guess this is the time where I do have some spoilers to share with people. So if you are one who wants to screen grab things and do that, I think that would be get your trigger finger ready. So that being said, yeah. So one thing that fans have been excited about in the Forever Rangers pack is the Thunder Zords. These are some exciting Zords, and we have shown on the campaign page, on the pre-order page, there are a couple of things that are shown. The Red Dragon Thunder Zord is shown, and the Thunder Megazord, I believe, are the kind of the fronts, but we wanted to show off some of the other ones for you. So go ahead and put up the Lion Thunder Zord there. Dun dun. So this guy is pretty sweet. Getting rid of any foot soldier card. All right. Next, yep, the Firebird Thunder Zord, pink. All right. Unicorn Thunder Zord. All right.
I'm trying to read these. You're going so fast.
I know.
You got to visit the Facebook page afterwards, Scott. They'll have them there. So that's all the Thunder Zords, but we've got a couple more for you that you've seen the titles for. Go ahead. We have the Power Blaster that any Mighty Morphin Ranger can use. Do some big damage there. And then finally, the Mega Tiger Zord. So there, I hope those were exciting for you guys. They were fun to make and fun to fun to create. So I hope you guys have fun using them, as much fun as we had making them. So there we go.
Nice.
That was fun.
You know
they're definitely
No,
going
I
to
was
be
just
all
gonna
over
say-
the Facebook group and the Twitter feed.
Yeah. Oh, they're already there. You know it. Like, I'm amazed at how quickly they screenshot them, they post them in the group, and by now there's like 100 comments already dissecting the gameplay of the, like, it's only been 30 seconds, but I bet if I go over to the Facebook group, my prediction's not far off.
Yeah, but that's what I love about this community so much, is everyone is so invested, and it has been a blast interacting with everyone in the Facebook group. So keep it up, everyone.
No, it's awesome.
Great. And if you like those cards, don't forget we do have that pre-order campaign going on right now, and it's not going to stay up forever, even though we have some Forever Rangers in there. It's only going to last through the 30th. So go ahead and check it out. See what you think about that.
Mm-hmm. So we've got people in Scott, hashtag free Scott. In chat, rather. Free Scott. So, Scott, what is coming next for Heroes of the Grid? I heard a
What is
rumor
coming
that
next?
I heard a rumor it might be Jurassic in nature.
Maybe. So the first thing we need to do is mute Sara so she can't interfere. That's right. So somebody says in chat, whisper the spoiler. So what I'm going to tell you today is that one of the teams coming next year, I'm going to confirm one of the teams. That's what I'm going to tell you. So this team isn't necessarily coming in any way, shape, or form that we're going to confirm, but we're going to tell you that Dino Thunder is coming to the game next year. It will be one of the first new things that you'll see in the new year from us. So in the first half of the year, you will see this. It's not that far away. So Dino Thunder is coming. The other thing that I'm going to tell you is Dino Thunder is not part of the big box expansion for next year. The big box expansion is something totally different. So you don't have to go into the Facebook group right now and speculate whether Dino Thunder is going to be part of the big box. Dino Thunder is going to be its own thing. And the big box is something else entirely different. That's it. That's all I got. I'm not allowed to say anything else. Sara knows where I live.
I've been released. Now I can keep you from saying anything. Nice.
Yeah.
I know
you
you have
failed.
rattles in your backyard too. Those are important. Might be usable later.
All
right, Sara.
There you go. Sara's fine. She'll get over it.
Oh boy. Yes, it's fine.
About-
It's fine. I let Scott talk occasionally. All right.
It's fine.
So talking about pre-orders, you had mentioned pre-order, Sara. We have the Power Rangers deck building game coming up for pre-order soon. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you're not aware, we do have a pre-order campaign right now for all of the Forever Rangers, Squat and Boo, Villain Pack number 3, Legacy of Evil, and the Painted Megazord. But that's all awesome and fantastic, but it's all for the minis game, so Heroes of the Grid. We, like Dan said, gone up to SKU 29 on that one already. But we have this whole brand new theme that we've been working on behind the scenes for a little while now. And me personally, I cannot wait, because this is the fun part of my job, to actually start showing people the new themes, and that is our Power Rangers deck building game. So this campaign, we are just about to launch. Everything is all ready to go on the page, except a few little tiny things we're adding in the next couple weeks. They'll be super fun. So right now, the best way to find out about it, there's two ways. One, you can go play it all weekend. So we don't have spoilers for it, and unfortunately, I can't make you wait on anything for this one, because you can go and see all of it now. You can go play the entire game all weekend long. We have open tables. Go over to Discord, check it out, and then tell us what you think. I'm really excited to hear how people are enjoying it. And then if you like it, you can actually sign up to get notified when we launch that pre-order campaign. If you go to our PowerRangersGaming.com in the Morphin Meet section, we have a whole booth, a whole virtual booth. And in that virtual booth, there's a place where you can get notified for the pre-order campaign. You can buy any of the exclusives that we have up there. You can register for the current pre-order campaign. All that stuff is on the Morphin Meet site. So go check that out. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And like all of our campaigns, we do have a few special things that you only get if you pre-order it from us. So those extra bonus items will be revealed soon, but we do have those coming up as well. So yeah, and if you played it, you should post in chat and tell us about it. We did have the Power Rangers deck building game up for during Renegade Con a couple weeks ago too, so some people have already gotten to see it. Anybody who didn't get to see it can play it this weekend. So yeah. What is Scott saying in chat? I'm sure there's something.
No.
I don't believe you. All right.
No, nothing bad. Nothing bad. Just talking to my friends. It's okay. Leave me alone.
Dangerous to have us both in a channel here together. Yikes. All right. So yes, we do have more fun stuff coming up. The deck building game is really cool and unique. Matt Hyra is the designer on that. He's designed a lot of deck building games, and what I love about his designs is that each one is so special and different, and this one is no exception to that. So I think people are really going to enjoy it. And so yeah, go check it out. Go play. I don't know what you're doing watching this thing. You should go play Power Rangers deck building game.
So Sarah, somebody asked in chat when the deck building game is going to be available. We've told people when it's releasing, right? Yeah.
So this is actually going to be on your doorstep waiting for you to open up that box and start playing in March, hopefully. Maybe April at the latest, but March is our expectation.
Yeah. We're trying to give you guys the best dates we can. Unfortunately, the state of the world has slowed international and domestic shipping down a little bit, so kind of is what it is. But for the most part, we're doing better than average. So far, so good, not too bad. But
not so good. I know there are people who are still waiting for Psycho Rangers to show up and all of the fun stuff that came with that campaign. But it is in the US. It's just getting all packed together. It's almost there. You'll have tracking soon. Also, this is a cool thing you can watch out for having to do with our pre-order campaign. So starting with Psycho Rangers, every time you are doing a pre-order campaign, you put your address in there, and then maybe you accidentally move somewhere else and your address is not correct anymore, you certainly can let us know. But if you forget to let us know, you're going to get a special reminder a day or two right before it ships, just to give you one last little chance to make sure that if you need to update anything, you can do it right away. So we're trying to get all of our systems in line and even better than they were before to make sure we get you your stuff as quickly as possible and to the right address. That's helpful.
It certainly is helpful. So for people who, let's say, can't, for whatever reason, can't make it to one of those demos, Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the deck building game? What should we expect? How does it play?
Sure. Well, let me preface it with a couple of things. First of all, how it's different than Heroes of the Grid, if you're familiar with that. One of the reasons why we were excited about this project was it allows players to play as both sides. In Heroes of the Grid, you focus on the Rangers and you play against kind of an automated bad guy side. In this one, you can actually take on the role of the villains or the heroes, but you can play against them. So this gameplay is either 1v1, play against one person, 2v1, or 2v2. So you can play in teams and fight two rangers versus two villains. It's very cool. What a deck building game is, all players start with a very simple deck of about 10 cards, and throughout the course of the game, you will do things to upgrade that deck. And so by the end, your deck is very different than it started, very different from the other players at the table, and whatnot. So it's a very fun experience. This one in particular has some really neat little hooks to it that Matt Hyra included. So, for instance, there's a row of cards that you can purchase, just like many deck builders, but there are heroes and villain cards that show up in there. And if you are on the hero team, for instance, and a villain shows up in the row for you to buy, you can't buy that. I can't put Rito into my deck or whatever. But I can fight him and get rid of him from the row. And if I do, I get some sort of bonus. If I ignore the bad guys that are in the row as a ranger player, they will attack me. And vice versa for the villains with the rangers in the row. So that's a pretty neat mechanic that I've not seen before in deck builders. That makes it pretty interactive. Also, each player has a oversized hero card that represents you in the game. You start off as the ranger. You start off as a teen, and you flip it to the ranger side eventually. And it's got these edges, colored edges that represent the different card types. As you play and build your deck and play cards, you can attach cards to your character if it matches the color on the border. Once you've got all four sides attached, you can flip it over, which unlocks a really cool ability on your character, and it allows you to do certain things. It unlocks your you can use your signature equipment. You can bring Zords into play, and if everyone's got their Zords in, you can do the Megazord. All sorts of cool stuff. Really, there are some neat mechanics in this that I would suggest anybody who's either a Power Rangers fan or a deck building fan to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say Matt did a really great job representing like the gameplay of Rangers and then bringing something different to it. Like, in case our audience doesn't know, Matt Hyra is probably one of the most accomplished card game designers and deck building games especially. And he's just really, really good at it. And we brought him in specifically for this type of thing. And Matt just, he iterates and iterates and iterates until he gets it right. And he was the right guy for the job. So if you haven't played the game yet, really play it. Like it hits everything we wanted to accomplish. And then, expansions will do new and exciting things. So we're pretty excited about it too. I personally really like deck building games. So, it'll be fun.
The other thing that's really nice about this is that right now we are, for the most part, in quarantine, or we're trying to limit the group of people we play with. And the deck building game is nice because I think it's really, really accessible. Like, if you have people in your household, family members, who maybe are a little intimidated by bigger games, the deck building game is just going to be so much easier to put on the table and just start playing and get everybody in your family to come and play with you. So I really recommend, even if people have said, I won't play games before, try and get them to play this one, and they might be really surprised.
I'm excited to play it. I'm going to be playing it this weekend, and I can't wait. I love deck builders.
Yeah,
so I'm excited.
It's good. I love one of the comments. One of the comments in the chat is people are analyzing the way I said Dino Thunder and whether or not that means the consequence of what the big box expansion might be because of my inflection.
Replay it in slow motion. That's your clue.
I don't know if I'm that clever. I'm occasionally sinister, but I don't know if I'm that clever. So,
yeah, I was reading that. I don't know if you suddenly saw me laughing.
Yeah,
that was good. When am I playing Sims Mid-South? I'm not sure yet. Whenever I can get it in a walk-in. I'm doing a walk-in play this weekend, probably tomorrow. All right. So let's open it up to questions. I'm sure everyone has questions. We have one from James O'Rourke. I'm a massive Psycho Silver fan. What would be something you would like to see for his playstyle if he were implemented into Heroes of the Grid?
Oh, that we would like to see?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a Jonathan Ying question, and we specifically. So if you think that I'm under lock and key, Jonathan wasn't even allowed to be part of this panel because it's questions like these that cause trouble. Because Jonathan would give you an answer before he's actually started to design the figure, And then later on, when the figure turns out, that he turns out to do something differently. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a Jonathan question that he wouldn't be allowed to answer anyway. Rest assured, when we get around to Psycho Silver, he will be good. But yeah, we're not gonna. That's all we're gonna say. Like, come on, like these loaded questions. You're just like, again, like, it's not just me that Sarah is, keeping an eye on. So be kind with your questions, please.
All right, Mick Game Master, how much planning had to go into this event? A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So when you think about the entire event, we've got all sorts of cool stuff going on. We have Power Rangers actors coming to join us for a panel. It's our reunion show. We have demo staff behind the scenes teaching people how to play day and night for the entire convention, and answering questions on Discord and helping people get to the right links. And we have Chris Whitpan, who's actually behind the scenes as the producer and our events coordinator for all of this. He's been working tirelessly to try and make sure that everybody has all the right logins for the panel streams and a billion other little tasks that he does. We have all our graphic designers. All of the really fancy stuff you see at the beginning of all these videos had to be made by somebody. We also even have logistics people like Leisha, who make sure that all of those beautiful graphics that we have have all the right stuff on them, approvals, everybody gets to see them, needs to see them, all that kind of stuff, just things you never ever would think of. So it takes us a lot of time to put these together, but we love doing it. I think Scott mentioned that we got to go to Power Morphicon a few years ago, and wow, that event really seriously blew us away. And of course, we don't expect to be able to do that thing, but this is as close as we can come in 2020. And so we're really happy that we get to be able to do it. Scott, did you have anything to add to that?
No, about all the work that goes into this? I mean, like I don't have to do it, so it's pretty cool.
Goes up.
I did. Oh wait, so I saw a question in chat that they're asking, but I have a fun way that I want to do this. So somebody in chat asked if for the deck building game, would you rather play as a ranger or a villain? Mm-hmm. But I don't think it would be fun. So I'm going to take over as moderator for 2 minutes. So
yeah,
I want to know, Dan, do you think Sarah would want to play as a hero, a ranger, or a villain when she plays the deck building game?
Definitely
what do you think she would want to play?
Definitely a villain. She would be cackling the whole way.
Yeah.
You would flip it to her the empowered side, and she would cackle really loudly, laughing at her opponent, Scott.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right. So Victoria.
I agreed with that.
No. There's no discussion there. Everybody knows that's a truth. So, Victoria,
mm-hmm.
If Dan was to have to pick, would he want to play a ranger or a villain?
I think the ranger. Yeah?
Yeah.
A ranger.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think that's true.
I think so too. All right, so. Sarah. I agree that Dan is definitely a ranger at heart. Sarah, if I was to play, would I want to play a villain or a ranger?
Well, obviously you're going to play a ranger so that you could battle against me. That's not a discussion either.
That is true.
If you already know I'm going to play a villain, well, there we go.
Yes, that is true. That is the correct answer is that I will play the opposite side of whatever Sarah is playing.
Every game. This is not limited to Power Rangers, by the way.
No.
See, I can demonstrate this right now. See how he's wearing a green shirt? That is just because he knows I like to play green, and he's making sure that I can't play green by taking it first.
That's correct.
Yep.
That's the sinister side.
All right, I'll turn it back over to Victoria. That was my my minor mutiny. Yes, Sara Scorpina is correct. Somebody said in chat, so Sara Scorpina, yes.
Oh boy, that's funny.
Scorpina looks really cool though. So
She does. Actually, can I take over?
You want to take over?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, as moderator.
Full mutiny tonight.
Full on mutiny. So I know people are really excited about the RPG, and we are not ignoring your excitement. We really appreciate it. But Scott has something he would like to tell you about that I have authorized previous to this discussion.
Oh, all right. Okay, so the RPG news is that we announced it. It's in the works. It's coming out next year, but we're really not ready to tell you anything beyond that. I can assure you that it's in the works. Writers are busy writing. They are crafting all the details. The whole team, they have their own like Slack and everything, and they're in there. And that's actually right now one of the most fun parts of my day is I'm in there reading through all the stuff that they're coming up with and everything that they're working on. And Elisa is leading that team. And we know everybody's very excited that wants to play the RPG, but it's just a little too early to give you any more information on it. But rest assured, the people that are working on this are super Power Rangers fans. They know it inside and out. They're just like you. They're very, very passionate about it. And the stuff that I've seen so far is really awesome. It's going to be great. But probably after the first of the year, we'll have some more information on that. So there you go. That's all I'm allowed to say.
Yep. Good job.
Sup Adaman has a question. As cards get updated, will there be a way to get these updated cards without repurchasing the sets?
Dan, do you want to touch on that? I have some answers for that too.
Yeah, I don't know what cards they're specifically referring to. Cards being updated. If he's talking about the Villain Pack 3 cards, those are, as I kind of alluded to when I was talking, those are not updating the cards. Those are different cards. Those are new cards. So there are no current plans to send everybody that bought a core set a package of those cards. We wanted to have people still be able to use the original cards in that fashion. And these are just new versions, new cards that you can use in those decks if you'd like. So for those cards in particular, there are no plans to make those available outside of Villain Pack 3 at the moment. Sarah, did you have other things to add?
I do. So I don't actually know if we've, oh my gosh, welcome to my, I don't know if we've talked about this much in the past, but we are working hard on our new Power Rangers website, which you may have noticed when you went to the Morphin Meet thing. And on that site, we have a lot of other cool stuff we want to do on the back end. And one of those will be lists of things like cards and if there are any updates to those so that you can easily go to one place to get that info, just like a lot of other card games where there are just so many cards that have been going on for so many years. It's hard to know what the current rules are on that card because you can't exactly go back in time and reprint it, but you can go to a website and see what the current rules are, if there's any errata or any updates. So I don't have an exact time for when that'll be ready, but we are working on that because we recognize that people want to make sure they're playing by the corrected and updated rules. So we have an answer for you. It's just a little bit different than what you were asking. So I hope that helps.
Bridge MT. Sarah has a cat. Does this mean Cat Manx is confirmed next year? They're just reading into everything.
Spoiler. Oh, man. I think Scott also has a cat. I don't know what that means.
Darbeck asks, how many of the cards in the legendary pack are new? Can we expect new power weapons?
The legendary pack.
I wish I had like a photographic memory of everything.
There's only 29 SKUs, Dan. Can't you keep it all straight in your head?
I don't really want to say. I don't want to say the wrong thing here, so I would have to get back to you on that.
All right.
You don't have the checklist handy.
I can look.
A really good use case. Oh man, Dan is gonna find. So this is another reason why we really want to have our website updated so that you can go and find questions like this all on your own. It'd be really helpful.
Yeah.
My understanding though is that the Ranger decks are new. The content in the Ranger decks is new. I think the Ranger cards themselves are the ones that were in the Kickstarter exclusive box, but the Ranger decks themselves is new content. Whether or not every card in those is new, I can't. I would have to look at the set specifically. I can't comment on that.
Mm-hmm. We have Ender _009. Are the legendary Ranger cards marked in any way to distinguish them from the original Rangers?
Oh, do they have like a different set number? I mean, they're totally different cards as far as the cards in the deck, but the Rangers themselves.
No, I think
about the other
being
ones.
able to differentiate between them. I know this was something that was being discussed in the Facebook group earlier today when I was in there, because there's so many cards. They were trying to figure out, well, how do I know which cards belong to which if we're making different decks and things? So are they differentiated from each other visually?
I'm sorry that I'm underprepared for this panel.
Oh no!
I shut down all my windows and I don't have all my things at a fingertip to answer that question.
You know, I was just in all of the card PNG files earlier today too, so I'm not much of a help either.
I'm so sorry, fans.
You could maybe show us one of those cards. I don't know if you have the right ones though. He was showing us the Sweet Thunder Zords earlier. I wonder, because each one of our cards, do they have set symbols on them?
They do. In the bottom left, there's a set.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if that got updated or is any different than the Kickstarter version. Because if it's
Well, that's maybe something Victoria will get to post in the Facebook group later on.
Ooh.
That's a great question. All right, what's next?
We have, I do not know how to pronounce this person's screen name. I'm sorry. It looks like it might be Welsh. And there are a lot of...
Guinevere.
Okay, Guinevere. There we are. Thank you. Guinevere?
Guinevere. No, Guinevere. It's Dritz's cat. Like,
there we go.
Oh, nice.
Will future printings of the base box...
Oh, sorry. That's going to be the name of my next cat, by the way.
Oh.
So that's how I know what that is. I won't.
Will future printings of the base box come with Ravenous Hunger or the new I'm Hungry instead?
That is a good question. And I know that we talked about that. And I think, Scott, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the answer we came to was that we will be swapping those out in future printings.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
part of the thought process there was that these are just the core boxes are intro to the game, and these are a little bit more new player friendly. So we wanted to be able to offer that experience to new players.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question, please, Chris. Ryan Bloomer asks, what parts of the franchise are you most looking forward to exploring in your games?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the question because I was typing in chat.
What parts of the franchise are you most looking forward to exploring in your games?
Oh, gee. See, wait, this is a trap, because if we answer this question about other things that we're interested in exploring, we can't say that, because then it's assumed that it will be in the game. I mean, just because we're interested or excited about exploring it doesn't mean we'll get to. But if we say that, people will assume that it's coming for sure, and it's a confirmation.
I have a bit of an answer.
All right.
It's a bit of a cheat answer, but it's an answer about the deck building game specifically, because for Heroes of the Grid, great system, great game, but it also, we have to do a miniature for every character that we include that we want to feature. So that restricts how much we can add in a certain box for a certain price point and how much we can get out. In the deck building game, we don't really have those restrictions, so we can feature a character by doing an oversized hero card or featuring them in the main deck. We can feature many more of them. So when we did the Villain Pack 2 Machine Empire, we only got to put 5 people in there, five villains in there. But if we were to do that same theme in the deck building game, we can go deeper. We can explore more of the deep cuts to make sure that they're represented in the game quicker than with Heroes of the Grid. So I'm excited about that possibility.
That's a great answer. That's not a non-answer. That's a great answer.
All right. I'm actually typing my answer in chat, and I'm actually putting it. See, I'm doing it in writing, so I have a disclaimer that's actually part of the screenshot when they screenshot this. Is somebody said I keep seeing things about Mystic Force come up, and I did have to say that Mystic Force, the Ranger suits, the Mystic Force Ranger suits are like some of my favorite designs, just aesthetically. So I'm saying that Mystic Force are some of my favorite suits, and then I'm saying don't assume anything. I like the suits. Right. But wait, count to 5. It's in the Facebook group now. Mystic Force, blah blah blah.
Mystic Force comes up a lot in the Facebook group.
It does. I mean, they are some of the coolest looking Ranger teams, like as far as their design and stuff too. They're pretty sweet. So, oh geez, yeah. Somebody just put in like all caps, Mystic Force confirmed.
That was so fast after you typed that in there.
We didn't say. Here we go. For the record, Mystic Force is not coming to the game. It is not confirmed. Scott has just stated that he likes the Mystic Force suit design. That is all. Don't read into it. There's nothing more to see here. Move along. Thank you.
I don't think that's going to help.
Someone's going to splice that and put it together.
I know.
I did see a question about who did the art for Legendary Force. That was Valeria Favoccia.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Awesome.
Her art is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right.
All right. There's some good stuff in there.
Thank you, K-Weave, for asking that. Got that answer for you. And I think we had another question. Yep. Ooh. Caillou Shushu. I've been waiting since launch. Can I do anything else? I don't understand what the context is for this question.
No.
Can I do anything else? You can do a lot.
Oh, that's a funny question.
I don't know what that's a question about, but I can say something that's kind of relevant, I think. I would say that if you are a diehard fan and you want to be involved in our games a little bit more than you might be already, we do have a Facebook group for playtesters. That is something you kind of reach out to and try to get involved with, and every once in a while do an open call to get involved in various games. Could be Power Rangers related, could be not. But we'll do a call out and say, hey, we're looking for these number of people that like this or whatever, and then they get to be involved in the playtesting of some games. So some people have got a bunch of people got to play test the deck building game for the last several months, and they're very grateful to all those who participated. They're very active and provided lots of great feedback from our fan community. So appreciate that. But if it's something you're interested in, I don't have a magical link I can send you, but I'm sure someone can to that Facebook group that you can ask to join and try to be involved that way.
Yep. Yeah, and we will be, eventually for role-playing games and all sorts of stuff too. Right now, it's been mostly card games, but yeah, we had a lot of Power Rangers people from our community that got to test the deck building game early on in secret, super secret. So yeah,
They did not have to wait. They were lucky.
They did not have to wait. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Dritz Panther has another question. Any chance of seeing the weekly playthrough come back in the near future? Maybe with some sort of webcam setup.
Yeah, right now Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
I believe that Jonathan is actually playing Mastermind mode this weekend. We had maybe some technical shipping issues, but we're hoping that that still happens. So that will be a live playthrough. So that's happening. But go ahead, Scott.
No, yeah, I was just going to say it's really just a COVID thing. We want everybody to be safe, so we haven't been getting people together for in-person, face-to-face playing in the studio. And, it kind of just is what it is. We'll just have to take it a day at a time. Trust me, everybody wants to get back in and play, but there's just no good way to do it in person and social distance and all that. And so we'll, eventually we'll get there. We just don't know when yet.
Sir Grumpy Gills, this is thematic. How has this trying time, in quotations, affected both creating and marketing your games/products?
That's a Sarah question.
Yeah, so creating, actually, as you guys are all seeing this weekend, we're playing on Tabletopia for the deck building game, and we have been using other simulators similar to Tabletopia during the whole testing. So our playtesters who did work on that game actually were doing that remotely and safely. And the benefit of that is that we got a lot more people to be able to play it ahead of time than we normally would have for a game like that. So we got tons of feedback, and I think it made it a better game. And I'm not actually sure that we would have thought of doing that if it had not been for COVID. So in some ways, that was actually a good bonus for us. But the downside, of course, is that we can't be sitting at a table with you right now. And I can't stress enough how important and exciting that would be for us this year, especially getting to share the deck builder game. We had so many fun plans to be able to do that, but we're doing as much of it as we can here. And I'm really appreciative that you're all able to join us as much as you can. But yeah, that does change our marketing. We wouldn't be doing this virtually if we could be doing it in person. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's nice that a lot of people who would not be able to come to a physical event are able to join us. We've seen that with some of our other Renegade conventions we've held this year. There were a lot of people who, for many different life reasons, would not be able to travel to an expensive event, pay for hotel rooms, take time off work, but instead they got to come and play games with us all night on the digital simulator things that we have, talk to us in Discord, play on Tabletopia, and watch panels. So yes, there's some downsides, but I think overall it's actually going pretty well. So as far as creating games, I really don't think that there's been a slow. Our schedule is still full steam ahead. We really haven't had any big problems with that.
Yeah, I will say too, like the upside, right, of all this is that we're able to run these virtual events and people from everywhere can participate, where if it was physical, it's a lot harder. We would try to do from like events like Gen Con and stuff, streaming and that sort of thing. But now people like can get together, and it's so much more accessible. So it's pretty cool. Even when things get back to, so-called normal, I still think that this will be part of our mix moving forward. I don't think it'll totally go away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Renegade has been working remotely pre-COVID anyway, so it didn't really affect a lot of our day-to-day operations outside of the streaming service that you guys see, or the lack of ability to do that. As far as just making games and communicating with each other, we were doing all that remotely pre-COVID anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we were lucky that way. We were all set up already. So that was nice.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite tease for an expansion that you have given everyone so far?
Oh, favorite tease.
Oh,
It's
Scott, you've
tough.
done some fun videos. There were some good ones
Yeah.
out there, huh?
Probably the one that we did, the whole Just Wait one with Jonathan. We kind of filmed in the studio and around the studio and stuff. Like Dan was in town and stuff like that. That one was really fun to do. That whole tease little campaign. So yeah.
What were you teasing in that one? I don't remember. What was the thing?
Yeah, I don't even remember. That's a good question. We tease about everything. Like, no, we did because at the end of that was the punchline at the end of the video. I actually answered the question, even though Jonathan was told that he couldn't. So no, I just we honestly we tease and everything, and that it all blends together. Like I don't even remember which one that was.
I think you were giving out the date for a pre-order campaign or a Kickstarter campaign. What that was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is not a tease. It's not a tease that you did, but my favorite little marketing stunt that we did was the video that you did with Jonathan about Pyramidus.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah. Because I don't know what it was, like for some reason when I was on that stream, you ever have like that thing where you know how to say it, you say it correctly in your head, but it just doesn't come out of your mouth right. And yeah, I didn't say Pyramidus right, and we turned it into a whole video. That one was that was pretty fun. That was Desiree and I came up with that, and then yeah, drag Jonathan into our insanity. So, but yeah, that was good.
Just a Fish 2002 asks, figure storage solution on the way?
So I'll take care of this one. That's fine. I will pretend I am Sara, enemy of fun. So.
True.
So I've answered this in the Facebook group. We don't have any plans to do an actual figure storage. When we ship the games, we create custom made vacuum form trays to hold the figures and everything else. So you get those in the box right off the bat. I understand that once you paint the figures, you probably want a different way to store them. We've actually recommended and posted links to some really good third-party solutions for painted figure storage. That honestly, they do that. That's what they do. That's their business. I don't think we could do anything really any better than that. Doing a vacuum form tray that fits the figure like you already get in the box is already done, and it doesn't really make sense for a painted figure because you don't want something that's that tight come in and out. So using the what's the name of the foam company, Sara? That I have a bunch of their stuff, but I have bad memory for names.
There's a few. Folded Spaces is one I really like.
Oh, okay. No, the other guys that have the trays that you can pick out the foam, and then they have a bunch of pre-cut ones and stuff too. Is it Army?
Oh, Battle Foam. Battle Foam.
Oh, Battle Foam. Yeah, really Battle nice Foam. Yeah, we really recommend those guys.
Yeah, they have some really cool stuff. Also, a lot of miniatures companies that do things with other miniatures also have systems like magnetic systems. I think Battle Foam actually makes one. So you can put magnets in the bases and then put those onto a steel tray and then store all the steel trays. So that way you can even tip it upside down, do all sorts of crazy stuff, and your figures won't even touch each other. So that's another really fun way to do it. If you go to your local hobby store, anywhere where they sell lots of miniatures games, you'll probably find a lot of really good options and somebody who can help you. But yeah, there's tons of good things out there. They are way better at making it than it would be.
Yeah, and they just have the economy of scale too. Their prices are really good, because they produce bazillions of these things. I mean, you could take the Battle Foam type stuff put it into your current boxes, and then you put all your other stuff, all your cards, into the card storage box, right? Space-wise, it might not work out perfectly, but it's probably the best solution. Or you just get a miniature case to, for all your battle foam stuff or hard cases. Honestly, that's what we use as a company when we travel with miniatures. Is we use the battle foam stuff in hard cases or big Pelican cases and that sort of stuff. Like, you don't need a big hard case because you're not throwing stuff on the plane. But that's what we use, and that's what I would recommend if you have painted figures. So there you go. Sorry, guys, not something that we're really looking to get into as a company is painted miniature storage.
All right, that was the last question.
All right.
Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye?
I would just say, yeah, thank you for being here. Thanks for all the support. The Power Rangers community is definitely a bright spot in our day. I always joke around in the company if somebody's having a rough day. I'm like, go over to the Power Rangers Facebook group and spend a little time in there. It'll make you feel better. It's just such a nice, pleasant community. So, thanks for being awesome, and thanks for supporting us. It's great.
Yes, thank you. No, sorry, Hamster Master 8. No more announcements. We have our announcements. All right, stay tuned, because coming up next is going to be an interview with AK. AK is super fan turned super host. So check out that interview with Chris and AK. That's coming up at, I know what time it is in East Coast time, because that's where I am. So let me do some math. That's at 6 o'clock PST. So check that out. And we will see you out throughout this entire weekend. Have fun, everyone, and remember to play your game. Bye.
Bye.